My name is Charity, and I'm from Shamrock, Texas. I grew up in a home of one of my parents was an addict and one of my parents wasn't, so it was just very chaotic. But I was an addict from the time that I was 14 to present. When I was first arrested, I was 27 years old. I had just got divorced from my first husband, and I had 3 kids during that time. I was selling drugs, and so I was arrested for manufacturing delivery of a controlled substance. I didn't have a chance of probation or anything like that. My first was sentenced to 15 years in prison. When I was headed to prison, I can remember that like it was yesterday. So I was really scared. I didn't know what to expect. And I remember laying in my bunk that night and just a tear rolling down my face, what have I done? How I got by really was just blocking everything out, blocking the world out, blocking my family out, and just living that life, adapting to that life. I seeked God during those times. I was kind of what you call the model inmate. I could do everything right. Prison changed me through a program called EWOP. EWOP is Empowering Women Out of Prison. That was a pivotal moment for me. It's an entrepreneurship program, and just me having the confidence in myself and knowing that I could do something different.
My name is Tyler Smith, and I am the founder and executive director of Misfits Mission. In the teen years, I was at home with my mom and my stepfather, and there was a lot of abuse. There was a lot of dysfunction and brokenness in my home. And at a young age, I started using drugs. I have been arrested 16 times, but the first time I was arrested, I was homeless on the streets of New Orleans. I had been dancing in an entertainment club, but I was living in my car or sleeping in the park at the time, and I had gotten arrested for possession of drugs. The last time I was in, I remember a lady coming in there and she was sharing her story. And I remember listening and thinking, that's going to be me one day. I want to come back into the prisons and I want to be able to share my story of hope and redemption. I had this desire to start doing prison ministry because of my story, because of my background, and wanting to get connected and not really knowing where to start or how to do that. The day that the Lord gave me the vision for Misfits Mission, I was leaving a gym, and the Lord downloaded this word misfits in my spirit. And I said, misfits, where are you going with this? And he said, you used to be a misfit, but now you are misfit. And I just knew that that was from the Lord, because I'm just not that clever. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you want with this misfits? And he said to empower and encourage women that are or have been incarcerated how to live a healthier lifestyle physically, spiritually, and mentally.
I met Tyler on a podcast. I seen her on Forgiven Felons, and the Lord just very clearly told me, this is where you're gonna go. And I was like, Lord, but I'm from Shamrock, Texas, what am I gonna do in Houston?
The Lord gave me the vision for the hiding place in 2022, and it is a live-in 12-month discipleship home for women coming out of prison. And so we meet them on the inside, start building the relationship with them, start discipling them, and that becomes the filter process of whether or not they get accepted into the home.
Well, I put a little footwork and wrote a letter to Tyler, and she sent me back an application. I gave her a call, and she asked me some questions, and she told me that I was accepted into the hiding place. And I'm not very emotional, but that made me very emotional, because I seen God working with the little obedience that I gave him. I seen him working in that. When I met Ty, my spirit connected with hers, and the way that she looked into my eyes, and it was as if someone had truly seen who I was for the first time. So with Ty, it was the love of Jesus, being extended out to me, and that was the very first time that I had felt that.
I think what is most beautiful about what the hiding place has become is seeing stories like Charity's and seeing the fullness of the redemption of God in their life. Then once they come into the home, we have now 4 phases in place with intentional curriculum and programming in each phase to help them grow and develop in order to be able to reintegrate back into society and live out their God-given purposes.
Misfits Mission has believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. When I felt like an outsider, they accepted me as their family. I feel like the hiding place is my saving grace. It saved me. I'm the house coordinator here at the hiding place. It's so fulfilling. So whenever I get up, I don't even make my bed. I run straight to the gym. And I worship the Lord in there. Right now I'm walking alongside 2 other girls and just being here for them. I think mostly just setting the example of what being a disciple looks like and what making disciples looks like.
One of the most joyful when it comes to the ministry itself is just getting to see these women, like getting to walk with them on a day-to-day basis and getting to see what God is doing in their life and the light bulbs that start to come on and them recognizing their identity, like really coming to understand their identity and their self-worth in Jesus.
God has radically transformed my life. Everything that I used to be, I'm nothing like that anymore. Misfits Mission has helped me grow in my faith, be strong in it, and know that I'm worth something more.
My faith is everything to me. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for God's grace and forgiveness in my life. My goal for Misfits Mission is to see women be restored to the fullness of Jesus.
Misfits has given me the love of Jesus and has been able for me to stand firm in my faith and to grow in that. One day, I hope that I can just help just one person with my story.
I'm still in awe that God chooses me to co-labor with Him to do this work. But Misfits Mission is really all about equipping these women to walk in the fullness of Jesus. And if we can be a bridge, if the hiding place can be a bridge for these women to experience that, then it makes everything, like, it's just the most joyful and amazing opportunity.